Hey Mildacon, Joe Dyson here. Today I'm going to be introducing you to Fluxx. So the great thing about Fluxx, it's a card game. It's for 8 and up by Looney Labs. And what it is it's a card game that comes in all different forms, shapes and sizes. So you have Star Trek Fluxx, you have Cartoon Network Fluxx, you're going to have X-Men Fluxx or Marvel Fluxx, Nightmare Before Christmas Fluxx. So basically all the gameplay is the same. You're trying to obtain a goal, but there's little quirks with each one. So what I'm going to introduce you today is the Cartoon Network Fluxx. It's pretty simple, it's easier for smaller kids to pick up. So I'm hoping that maybe your kids or your brothers, things like that, would be more interested in it. But like I said before, this one doesn't require any math. And so I hope you enjoy, and it's good to see you. Hey guys, thanks for joining me to learn how to play Fluxx today. So initially you saw like a Sushi Go introduction, and you guys joined me for that. This one requires a little bit more strategy. Luckily there's no math in this one, which is good. So what you're doing is you're collecting cards to obtain a goal. So the way Fluxx works is we're all going to get 3 cards to begin with, and the basic rule, always to start out, is draw 1 and play 1. So in your hand, when you have the 3, you're going to get different myriad of cards. You're going to have goal cards, you'll have rule cards, you'll have action cards, and you'll have keeper cards. So of all these, your goal card is what you're going to be trying to obtain. So your goal is always going to sit right off to the side, and you're going to have your deck of cards next to your basic rules. So as you start out and you have your 3 cards to begin with, you're going to draw 1 and play 1. So when you draw 1, it could be a keeper, a rule card, an action card, keeper card, or a goal card. So if you play a goal card, that counts as your 1 play, and it's the next person's turn. If you play an action card, it'll tell you exactly what to do, and you take that action, and then that's your turn. Sometimes it'll tell you to play again, sometimes it'll tell you to draw more cards, and you take whatever action's on there. If you play a keeper card, it goes right in front of you, and that's yours, and that's what you're going to use to obtain the goal. So this version of Fluxx is the Cartoon Network one. So this one, the goal says you have to have all 3 Powerpuff Girls. So if you have all 3 Powerpuff Girls as your keepers, you win the game, and that's how to win the game. But things are constantly changing because there are some new rules that'll come out that'll say like a hand limit of 4. You can draw 2, and that replaces the draw 1. And then you have other cards that'll say like play 4. Some will say play all. And then some will say, hey, draw 5. You only get to play 1, but then there's a hand limit of 4. So you can only have so many cards in your hand, and you have to discard the others. So it gets pretty complicated. It's one of those games where as you play more and more, you get to go quicker, and there's more strategy involved. Because it might say draw 2, play 4, and maybe you have the Powerpuff Girls card in your hand, that's your 1 play, and then you have all 3 Powerpuff Girls as your other 3 plays, and then you win the game. So those are just the basic rules. As we go through, we'll talk about it more during gameplay. We'll do a walkthrough and make sure you guys are comfortable with it. And then if you have any questions along the way, just let me know. Sound good? Yeah. All right, thanks guys. We have our cards, dealt 3 out per person. That's how we start out. And we'll go ahead and start to the left of me, and they can go ahead and draw 1 and play 1. So we have 1 keeper that's in play now, all right? It's like a samurai jack. So there's no goal yet, so there's no way someone can win right off the bat. All right, so we have a new rule, it's replaced the draw 1. So now we're gonna draw 5, but only play 1.
All right.
Sorry. All right.
No, sorry.
So now it may look like you have a ton of cards in your hand, but you only get to play 1.
Exactly.
So, but someone may change it soon enough, and you might have to play all of them. All right, so now we've introduced a goal. So this one says girls and boys, any Powerpuff Girl plus Ed, and Eddie, any one of the Ed, and Eddie. So you can have any Powerpuff Girl and any member of Ed, and Eddie, and you win the game. I can please your turn. There you are.
Just change the color.
All right, here we are. So now we've introduced a new rule. Now you're gonna draw 5, and you're gonna play 3. Oh. And so I just want to point out, so when you put down the play 3, so that was her first play, but since the rule changed, she's allowed to play 2 other cards.
Nice.
So she's played an action card. It says draw 3 and play 2 of them.
All right. So she'll play 4.
Correct. Yep. You just have to keep a tally.
There's your math, just a little bit.
A little bit of math, a little bit of math. Very minimal though.
I was never good at lunch.
So she's played an action card. It says all tunes report for duty. So everyone who has a keeper is going to play it. Luckily, you get to keep it.
So that was 2.
Just gotta win. He's the closest to winning right now.
So now the rules change to play all of your cards but 1. And so you'll draw 5, play all your cards, so you only have 1 single card left in your hand. And the good thing about that is you have a lot of cards. You can put down keepers and then change the goal with your last card and you'll win. It makes it a little easier to win. Nice. All right, so she's changed the goal twice. And now she's instituted a new hand limit of 1 and changed the rule again to play 2. So you're gonna draw 5, play 2, have a hand limit of 1. So what that means is after you played your 2, if you have excess cards, you're gonna have to discard all your cards except for 1.
Okay.
Yeah, it's rough, it's rough. So as you see, she's put down multiple goal cards on top of the same pile. There is a new rule card that will allow you to have multiple goals. So until that's played, you only have 1. But once someone plays that new rule, then we can put down a second goal.
Question. If there's multiple goals, do you have to fulfill both goals or
Only 1.
Only 1?
Yep. All right. So now it's come around to my turn. I have a goal card and a new rule card. I'm going to draw my 5. Okay. So I get to play 2. I'm going to look at my goals, kind of see what's going on around the board. I have a Tombs Never Die, which is look through your discard pile, choose any keeper you find there and play again. I don't remember anyone discarding a keeper, so I'm going to keep that because now that we have a hand limit of 1, I might see that a little later. And I find a Steal a Keeper card, so I'm going to steal a keeper. I'm going to steal Gumball. And I'm going to...
You done did it now.
I'm going to keep that 1 that I talked about, so that way, hopefully later, because I am discarding a keeper, so I can always get it back if I need to. But I'm going to discard all my other ones and keep my 1. And the good thing about this game is there are different versions of Fluxx. Some of the rules change, like if you get a Star Trek one or Nightmare Before Christmas, some of the other versions. But this one's pretty good because it's cartoons, kids are familiar with it. Like I said, there's not a lot of counting involved. So it gets a little more simple if you want to have maybe your brother or sister play with you or a younger sibling or a child in your family.
Or you're just really into cartoons.
That too.
So I'm going to change the goal to DD and Dexter, and then I'm going to do action Share the Wealth. So this one is going to gather up all the keepers, and then I'm going to shuffle them and then deal them back out. So I deal them back face up?
Yeah, you'll just shuffle them and then you start with yourself.
Okay.
So that way you ensure that you get the most keepers. So that's the benefit to that action card.
Dee, what are you doing in my laboratory?
Just flip it up.
Yep, just flip it up. You got it back. There we go. So I once had 2 keepers, now I only have 1.
And then I get to keep 1. Oops.
So it does make it a little harder once you have the hand limit of 1. And then you only have to play 2, but you're drawing 5. So the strategic aspect of it gets much more difficult.
Cap threw down the gauntlet quick. She was like, all right, I'm just going to come in here real quick. Watch this.
Oh, there we go. So we've gotten some relief. Now our hand limit is 3. We can hold on to a few more cards for now. Alright, heroes rush in. Oh, so all the heroes he gets to bring up to his side.
Discard. So 3 bubbles in here.
He decided to discard a rule card, some gold cards, and now his hand limit is 3. So some people might say, oh, what happens when we've drawn through here? You'll just reshuffle the discard pile and keep going, because a lot of folks have discarded a lot of keepers, some of the goals that you may need, and they'll come back around. That's usually if it's an unusually long game.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often.
There's only 1 keeper, like bubbles, there's only 1 in the deck.
Correct. Correct.
Multiple chances.
So you only have 1 of each card left to roll. Yeah, 1 of each character.
So
From
drawn
the
5, I have to play 2.
Correct.
And I can only have a hand limit of 3.
Correct.
Okay.
So you'll play your 2, and then you'll have to discard the rest of your cards.
So
We got a new rule. Oh, there we go. So double agenda is when we get to have an extra gold.
And I'll make
There we go.
that. And then I have to keep all, I have to get rid of all but 3.
Correct.
Right.
So once the new goal comes into play, and you want to play a goal card, you can choose which goal you replace. So maybe you don't like this one, but you like this one. You'll put your goal card on top of this one. Or if you're going to try to block someone else and they're close, maybe because he has DD, you don't like that one being on top, you'll replace that goal. All right, now I got a hand limit of 4. It's getting better and better.
Because it's like a power.
Okay, so I'm gonna do play 4. So we can play 4 cards. I'm going to do Tombs Never Die. So I'll get to choose a keeper from here. Who's in the discard pile. So I'm gonna look through and see which ones I like.
Zombie.
And because I like Johnny Bravo, I'm gonna Johnny Bravo. I didn't have any gold cards that related to that. And so I have 2 more. This one says, zap a card. Choose any card in play anywhere on the table, except for the basic rules, and add it to your hand. So I'm going to zap a card, and I'm going to steal DD. It goes back in my hand, and I have 1 more play. So I'll play there, and I have a hand limit of 4, so I'm good. I have 3 cards. I'm gonna go ahead and let the next player play. Sometimes what you'll do is you'll You'll notice you have a goal in your hand. You know, kind of be strategic and not let anyone else know. But you'll collect your keepers. So that way when you drop your goal, you'll win.
Playing Dexter, and then I'm playing an action. Exchange keepers.
Oh.
That's it, right?
Yep.
That's the goal.
Won the game.
So there you go. So he's taking the game.
Oh, never mind.
Oh.
Oh.
So you
Oh.
exchange keepers. So
Well, I could play 4 more or
Well,
3 more.
yeah. So if you wanted to hold your action,
But yeah, so I mean,
do you have
I'll
any
go
more
through it
keepers?
because I do. I have like a whole hand of
Oh,
keepers.
well then do this. Play your other keepers. Play
Thank
one
you.
more.
I got excited. I was like, I can swap. So
And if we were real cutthroat, and this wasn't, you know, an introductory game, and then now he would play his exchange keepers.
you can have Jake.
No thanks. I like Jake as well. But now that he's satisfied one of the goals with his keepers, he wins the game. And then all you'll do is you'll gather up the cards, except for the basic rules, reshuffle them, and then you'll play again. You guys have any questions?
We gotta do another one. Yeah.
You good?
I got excited.
Awesome. Thanks guys, appreciate it.